Not only did I catch up to Fairy Tail this week, but I also caught up to that Taizai greatness, fam. This week, I caught up on where the anime left off in Nanatsu no Taizai, the 7 Deadly Sins. As we all know, the anime left off after the capital, and I noticed that after reading the manga, they diverted greatly and took kind of a different path a little bit. Because right after the capital, in the fight with Hendrickson and Dreyfus and basically the Holy Knights versus the Taizai, it changed it a little bit. Like, in the manga, we just went straight into, like, this whole thing with the 10 Commandments. Now, the 10 Commandments have been resurrected, and it seems, they're resurrected by Dreyfus, and it's been a little while since I read it, but this is kind of, I'm trying my best. If I do get something wrong, please correct me, and I apologize in advance. If I do miss out something, just leave a comment down below. We have Dreyfus leaving off, and he seems to have survived. So does Hendrickson, and both of them go their separate ways. We have Dreyfus over here. He'd be like, I'm resurrecting the 10 Commandments. And these 10 Commandments seem to be overwhelmingly stronger than the 7 Deadly Sins. And we have known that the 7 Deadly Sins are supposed to be hyped up characters that are the strongest characters in the area. And we do find out later, like, that actually one of the sins is actually pretty much on par or greater in strength than probably most of the 10 Commandments so far, as we know. We don't know the strength of most of the 10 Commandments yet. But what we do know is our Lord Escanor is a boss at points. Well, at nighttime, he may not be a boss, but I mean, he's a pretty OP character, I have to say. All hail Lord Escanor, am I right, fam, or what? To get Bond's past even more, we feel, I guess he was an orphan, he was raised by a wolf man, and I can't pronounce his father's name, it was something like with a Z, and we find out he meets his father again, he doesn't have any hard feelings about his father, and Elaine was sort of resurrected somehow by one of the 10 Commandments, able to put someone's souls back into their body and create a connection between the dead and the living somehow. On top of that, oh, okay, you can do that. Elaine comes back to life, and we find out Jericho actually, I kind of found this obvious Jericho, like, in one of the earlier chapters, just like, hey, Bond, you want to lay in bed with me? Like, bro, we know you like Bond. It's legit. And then, like, you're saying my ass is bigger than yours and I have bigger melon. Yeah. Either way, we get that revelation, and we don't see Bond really give a response to that at all, so already. On top of that, we do get to see Meliodas has actually been holding back, and we find out that during the 10 years ago, when the 7 Deadly Sins were punished, I guess, for seemingly something that Dreyfus did and Hendrickson started because they were taken over by a demon around the same time, that Merlin took part of Meliodas' powers and they hid them, and so Meliodas had to take a test, and we find out that Meliodas' previous love was Liz, and Elizabeth is the reincarnation of Liz. So that's kind of understandable why Meliodas has so much affection for Elizabeth, but then that kind of contradicts why in the earlier chapters right after the end of the battle in the capital, why he was like, alright, we're done here, Elizabeth, like, bruh. On top of that, we do get Meliodas to see his powers return, and we see the power of the 10 Commandments is pretty strong. I mean, when we saw Meliodas take on Galen for the first time, or Godon, or Galen, because, like, with the R's and the L's, they pronounce them the same way, like law in One Piece is pronounced raw in Japanese. But we do find out Galen is pretty strong, and Meliodas is one of the 10 Commandments that looks exactly like him, but has black hair, is his brother, and seemingly after regaining his power, Meliodas is pretty OP. And knowing that, like, after being submerged in, like, the darkness, sort of, his power grows by 3 times, or maybe just by 6,000, hopefully it's 3 times, so maybe Meliodas' power is around 90,000, possibly at his max. We don't even know the limit of most of the, the 10 Commandments yet, and I'm really hyped for this arc. I mean, personally, I'm liking this better than the original with the battle in the capital and kind of collecting the sins. I do feel like him just kind of, Nakama-sensei just kind of starting getting us ready for this arc, and I'm very excited. I do already I like this arc a lot better, and we're introduced to the final sin, I believe, that is Escanor, and I've just really enjoyed it, especially seeing the powers that Meliodas truly has now, seeing that Meliodas is pretty much a boss now with his powers, and seemingly he can control a bit of the darkness, and he controls it into like a spear, sort of like a ball, so I hope it doesn't really become like some type of energy attack. That's not something I really enjoy. I hope he does something different with that than just make it a spear. But either way, I have really been enjoying it. And I think Nakaba Sensei really likes the character Bon a lot more than most of the other sins. Just because I feel like he has had, Bon especially has more like screen time more recently than most of the other characters. Just, that's my opinion on that. Just really I'm hyped for this arc. I'd like to get more on Bon, maybe a bit more on his backstory, especially how he got the scar. It wasn't really dived into. We went into a little bit in the anime how Meliodas gave him the scar, but not exactly, because Bon is supposed to be a regenerative person and not have any, be able to regenerate most of his wound, but the one wound Meliodas gave him when being serious has not healed. So let's dive in more on that, especially also with King not trusting Meliodas anymore and King leaving, going to find Dian and doing some other stuff on his own. And especially with Gowther, I really don't seem to trust Gowther, just my opinion. He seemed to be a very odd character, but Merlin helping him out, that's a good thing too. I mean, you know, helping him kind of control it, because he doesn't seem to understand emotions, and him being a doll, we find out him being a doll. That is a little weird. I don't know how he became a sin then, but, you know. Are you guys hyped for the 10 Commandments and what Meliodas can do, maybe showing off his true power eventually? And also Elizabeth being a druid, and especially her, like, showing off some of her power, maybe her actually focusing, maybe being the main character, or actually doing some damage to other characters. Anyways, guys, make sure to like, comment, and click that subscribe button. I'm so hyped to review the next chapter of Nanatsu no Taizai, and peace out.